Hello, it's Colette to the weekly tarot card, and this is the card for the week commencing Monday, the 18th of June 2018, and it's a lovely card. It's the 10 of Discs, if you can see it. Now I'm going to bring it right up close because there's a lot of symbolism in this card. If you can look at it, you'll see there's various things like keys and shells and money and coins, all sorts of things in a big hole in the ground, and the hole's packed full of all these things that are very earthy. It's the 10 of Discs or Pentacles, and because of that it is an earth sign card and it is an earthly card, and it's such a good one because sometimes the suit of Pentacles is seen as quite boring, but the 10 of Discs is about, well, it says wealth on it, but it's about security and having enough wealth that you feel fine and that you've got everything you need in place, and it's the feeling that comes from that. Although it's a practical card and it does bring us a lot of feeling of being stable and excuse me, and secure, it's the feeling that we get from that. So it's not an emotional card, but it is the card that allows us to feel a certain way. So 10 of Discs for the week ahead in Rorig, as I say, very, very earthy card, wealth. In general terms, we'll be feeling a wee bit more settled. We've had 3 weeks of Swords cards, and I was really panicking in case another one would come out for the 4th week, but it hasn't. So we're kind of more down to earth, whereas the Swords are air, Discs or Pentacles are earth. So all the sort of mad mental aspects that have been going on in our brain and our minds are going to be almost pulled down and grounded this week. And I'm glad to see that because I've never really known a June that had so many people really feeling pressure of anxiety, mental health issues, depression. This is a time where the sun's shining outside. It's beginning to really look like a summer, and normally we're a wee bit buoyant at that time, but looking around in general, I've not really seen that buoyancy, and if it has been there, it's almost been a wee bit manic. So this is us coming down to land a bit. Just watch out for anybody who's bipolar, because you might come down to land a wee bit too much, so be aware of that extra groundedness. You want to go somewhere in the middle. So the week ahead, generally you're going to feel that you have enough and that enough is enough. So you'll have enough, but you'll be feeling good about having enough. It's a card that has very few negatives. The only negative I would say is it can be a very materialistic card. So, don't ground yourself this week by going buying this, that and the next thing. Those of you that like stuff will find that you want to acquire more stuff. So ask yourself before you do that, do you really need this stuff? Could you be a wee bit more minimalist? Although with this card and the way it tends to work, those that are affected by the sort of negative influence from it, the materialism aspect, will tend to buy too much. So remember that kind of a big knock on in your finances further down the line. If you're going on holiday and you want to buy holiday clothes, don't buy too many. These things literally get trashed a lot of the time when they go home because we don't have the weather here really to wear them. And if you're in the States, you know what I mean as well. So watch the slightly negative side of this is actually wanting too much. But in general, it's a good card. It brings us a feeling of gain, of wealth, and of wealth of being. Okay, so what does it mean in various areas of our life? If we look at the 10 of Discs, in career, it can be that you've reached a stage, maybe the end of a practical project this week, and you're happy with it and you're secure with it, and you feel as though it might bring in extra of maybe money or kudos or a sense of wealth. It could benefit other people in your organisation or your company, and there's this general feeling of well-being, of almost a sense of reaching where you needed to reach. Now remember, a 10 goes to a 1 and a 0, which goes back to 1. So after a 10, we're ready to start a cycle again in very, very basic form. So again, it's a time to be almost riding that wave of completion, or I've got there, or I've done that job well. But also having a wee eye on, well, what next? Where do I go next with this? Can I take this project and make it meld into something else? Should I take the feelings I've got and the well-being from this to look for another job and almost take the goodness of this, look what I've done forward? So a good card, because it will make you feel good in work this week, but it'll also maybe make you feel, well, am I worth a wee bit more? And maybe, you know, it's not materialistic in that way. It's saying, well, am I coming to the end of how I've helped this company or how it's helped me? And not a lot of people will totally decide to change jobs or career, but some will. There's also a wee kind of key on this card, and it can bring people to move for other reasons rather than just I want a career. It can be a new home. It can mean that you're moving for the home that you want, and you'll fit everything else round about that. And sometimes that can work. You know, I took that risk myself 5 years ago, where I moved for the house and the location, knowing that at that point, while I was still seeing clients and stuff, a lot of them wouldn't come because of the lanes up to the cottage and stuff like that. So it was a risk, but it was worth taking. Built on the success I already had, it was worth taking and hoping for the best, if you see where I'm coming from. And it wasn't problematic at all until my health actually took me the opposite direction. Anyway, so career card, very good. If we look at it for health, I see there's a lot of sort of bits of grit and, you know, dirt and stuff in there. And I know this sounds crazy, but I see this as osteoporosis. I see it as bones that are crumbling. It can be arthritis or osteoporosis, but you know, that way when you look at, you know, someone's ground up something, it's got bits all over it, and well, that's what I see in this card for health. So it can mean that anybody with osteoporosis, osteoarthritis can feel it a wee bit more difficult for them in the week ahead, and I hope not too much, but be prepared. You know, maybe start now, a few days beforehand, if you're managing to catch this a few days before. Start eating more of an anti-inflammatory diet. Start making sure that you are on the right regimen of medication. Start maybe doing a wee bit more exercise to keep your bones that wee bit more flexible, because this card can bring a feeling of just your bones not being strong in any way. If we look at relationships, it's a good one for relationships, because what we've got is a sense of, okay, we're here, we've made it this far, this is good, let's celebrate. So it can be very good for people that are almost mid-term in a relationship. You know, they've come so far, they're feeling solid, they're feeling secure, and where do they go from there? So it can be a decision that's made very practically, right, okay, we've been together X amount of years, now's the time to move in together, now's the time to get married. But it's one of those cards that gives you the feeling that life is stable enough and maybe financially okay enough to move forward in that way. If you're looking for a relationship, this card is more about it's more about money, practicalities and whatever. So the only thing I would say on it is, if you're going out this week, watch the negative side of the card, which can be attracted to someone that's, you know, a bit shallow, has maybe got the right suit, the right shoes, the right haircut, the right watch, being attracted to that, and then you could find that there's no real substance there. It's all about the show of the money. That works both ways for male to female as well. Just watch out that you're not attracted to the glittery stuff, and make sure that you're looking for something substantial behind that. But not a bad wee card. It's not really a spiritual card, but it can bring you a sense of stability enough to say, right, okay, I can maybe spend a wee bit more time on my spirituality. I've worked hard, I've got to this level, so now I can take an hour a day, say, to meditate, or something to make a little craft or something that I would enjoy and be creative with. So although it's a very practical card, it also can give us the reason to explore other things further, simply because we're feeling as though we're at a plateau, and it's a good plateau. So what can we do with it? So 10 of discs. Whole week ahead, enjoy it, because it's one of my favourite cards, not because of the wealth aspect, but I'm a Taurian and I do like nice things, but as I'm maybe older today, and I've come to see in life that you don't need too many of the one thing. If you've got one thing and it works for you, then stick with the one thing. You know, with this card, when you're older, it's a feeling of wealth, of security, and that, you know, I actually looked at my cupboard for summer and autumn and winter and was like, right, because I had birthdays and stuff, a few new things. But I looked at my closet and it was like, I don't need anything more. So, no, I'm not going to be really on eBay. I'm not going to be, looking for clothes, because I simply do not need any more. Any more would just be ludicrous. And to be honest, I don't really go that. I don't go anywhere really that merits some of the clothes that I actually like looking at. So be a wee bit aware of that, and just know that it's a good card, but it's a sense of, yep, that's fine, I've got enough of this, I've got enough of that, or maybe get a wee bit of savings, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes the person that feels this card, it's kind of root, is the man who's contented, the man or woman that's contented with no money, that their wealth is their health, their family, their friends, the earth. That is a wonderful meaning of this card, that level of feeling wealth when really you have none. Maybe something we should think about along the way. So I'd like to finish off with this. I would also like to say, remember that it's time to help the bees, and if you want to help the bees, make sure that you're not using pesticides that can harm them. Please try and go organic. Please try and find a way of the bees being healthy, because we need the bees. Without the bees, we do not have pollination. There's many countries now where certain trees and certain things that we eat are being pollinated by hand, because we actually have destroyed the bees. So please, if you like this reading, I'm not going to say please subscribe, please buy my book, please whatever. I'm just going to say, please read up a wee bit more about the bees, understand how we need bees in the ecosystem, and if you do that in response to this wee reading, I'll be so happy. So thank you very much, many blessings, and I'll see you next week for next week's weekly tarot card. Bye now.